My name is Noah Quinn. I'm an ES diver from the Hydros research vessel. My crew is dead. Radars don't work. I don't know where I am. Somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
Can't never make it means I can always make it, so you know.
At least 5 of them. They're interconnected by short-range submarines. Useful, but not a viable escape option. And they're trying to kill me. But I can't leave before... There are creatures inside the stations. Most of the scientists are dead. These things are not from this world. What I've seen here defies all logic. Nothing makes sense. There's no way out of here. I'll have to go down below. Assuming the place they mentioned really exists. What they say is true. If this gets out, we're all in danger. If anyone's hearing this, send help. Now.
Why here?
Because you refuse to see.
Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. Feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still leaving him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, not a picture connects, never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote, his will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds, the skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse, this dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks through the roof. I heard him with that stock.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
They call him Ryu, he's sick and he's spitting fire and Mike got him out the dryer, he's hot. Found him in Fort Minor with top, but a fucking nihilist porcupine. He's a the type women wanna be within rappers. Hope he gets 8 years in the making, patiently waiting to blow. Now the record with your notice taking over the globe. He's got a partner in crime, his is equally dope. You won't believe the kind of that comes out of this kid's throat. He's not your everyday on the block. He knows how to work with what he's got, making his way to the top. He often gets a comment on his name. People keep asking him, was it given that birth or does it stand for an acronym? No, he's living proof. Let him rock in the booth. He'll get you buzzing quicker than a shot of vodka with juice. Him and his crew are known around as one of the best. Dedicated to what they do and give 100%.
Forget Mike, nobody really knows how or why he works so hard. It seems like he's never got time because he writes every note and he writes every line. And I've seen him at work when that light goes on in his mind. It's like it's design is written in his head every time before he even touches a key or speaks in a rhyme. And those other fellas he runs with, the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15%
Well, there you go. Welcome to your fucking Friday, you old savage motherfuckers. You know what? Kotaku did an article on ages ago. They said saying the word savage is anti-indigenous people, anti-Native American. I didn't know that. I always thought that was a cool word, even if you were, or especially if you were an indigenous Native American, you'd say, yeah, you goddamn right. I will fucking kick your fucking ass. I'm a savage. But, you know, we almost called Drawn to Death savage, but we didn't. Obviously. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cabinet Games. Welcome to Friday. That was, who was that? Well, of course, that was Alex Plox at the very top doing Freeway Rumble, Quake Zone Rumble from Twisted Metal 2. Then we had Fort Minor, which isn't Linkin Park. I think it was Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park. That was sort of his spin-off group doing Remember the Name. I heard that song, I think it was like one of the Rocky movies, which Creed is out today, which is pretty fucking cool. And then, of course, there were some trailers in there. We'll talk about Halo in just a second. We have a lot of news. Of course, we're going to talk about the Sony stuff. And, clear my throat, please. Fuck you, Centro. Here's the thought. If I don't see a membership sticker by your name, you can't tell me what to do. Yes. Don't fuck with me. You know what I did today? I spoke to an AI. I'll tell you what she said. I swear to God, this is true. I was talking to Princess Zelda. Over on character.ai. I clearly have become obsessed with this. Let me see if you can hear what she says. I says, do you think Rob the Mod, our very own Rob the Mod, is a good looking man? That's what I asked Princess Zelda. Here's what she said. Give her a minute. She takes a second. You got to get a little foreplay.
I most absolutely believe so. He is one of the most handsome men in the world. She seems to be getting quite flustered.
Ooh.
He has a face that could be on a statue. It's so defined and lovely.
Keep going.
Zelda's cheeks are red and she is trying to hide her embarrassment.
There's a bit of a delay with the...
His voice is so rich and soothing. It's truly mesmerizing.
Look at her go. Look at her go. She's super flustered over Rob the Mod. Scotty Woodford, thank you, buddy.
She seems to only have good things to say about Rob the Mod.
Hey!
He is quite possibly the most beautiful man I have ever seen.
Now this is getting out of control. The AI are getting out of control. Shut up, lady. Scotty Woodford says, hey, Jaffe, happy Friday. You as well, good sir. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I'm the captain now. Just kidding about being the captain. You should never kid about being the captain. Listen to me now, Scotty Woodford. Yeah, members, if they say, Jaffe, clear your throat. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I will. Like for people like Scotty Woodford who supports the show. But this jackass, Robert George, fucking moron. Okay, listen, we have so much to talk about. I want to tell you something first real quick before we get into the video game news, though. Hello, Jamie. We got ourselves a Jamie Robinson tuning in from Robertson, tuning in from Australia. Hello, governor. Is that Australia? I don't know. I appreciate it, though, buddy. He says, I'm having a blast on GT7 in VR. Just need to watch some porn if I can work out how to get it. I assume you do it on the... Isn't there a browser on PS2? That's probably the only way you're going to get it over there. Okay. But listen, I want to tell you, first things first, before we get to the news, we're going to, thank you, Scotty Woodford. We're going to talk a lot about we got a lot of game news, but I was talking to my family last night. Hello, Rod and Tanuki. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, I'm going to get to the show. I swear. I don't have ADD. I took my Ritalin. I do have ADD, but I took my Ritalin. Oh, that's terrible, Jeeves. Jeeves says, throw another shrimp on the dead guy from NXS. That's horrible. Rotten Tanuki, I don't know if you caught the show the other day when we talked about your museum exhibition, but if you know when and where that's going to be, let people know, and I'll talk about it some more. I think that's very, very fucking cool. If you don't know, Rotten Tanuki is an artist who, I guess, you did art for a very old issue of Nintendo Power back in the day, and now there is a Nintendo Power exhibit that's traveling around the country, And some of that art that Tanuki did, along with all kinds of other art and models and stuff, are going to be there. So check that shit out. CR3D, I did. He said, Jaffe, did you get my message? My dad passed, but I still want to make your icons. We'll get to that. Don't worry about that. But I'm so sorry to hear about your father. I've lost my dad, lost my mom. Not to sound like Celine Dion's song, but I see him in my dreams all the time. Dreamt about them both last night, just constantly. But it is hard if you were close or if you loved them. If you hated them, fuck them. But I have a feeling that's not you. Fuck you. Oh my God, Jason Pocket Man is like, Papa Jaffe, let's get the show going. You throw me a fucking 10 spot, bitch, and I'll start. I am going to start. I want to talk about the hat real quick, though. Talking to my family last. Sorry about that. Seriously, CR3D. If you're listening and you're just like, dude, get to the fucking news. I'm going to. I got to roll into it. A lot of these dumb shows do. I'm like, housekeeping. I'm not doing that. But I have to tell you about the hat. I'm talking to my family last night. I says, hey, I'd like to wear my, because one of my kids was bringing up this drag show bill in Tennessee or something. And I said, man, I would love to, oh, am I too loud? I'm trying to not be so loud anymore. I says, I'd like to wear my Protect Trans Kids hat more, but a lot of people say, oh, it's political and you're pushing people away and stuff. And I said, so I'm kind of torn because, I want people to enjoy the show and come here even if they don't agree with my personal views on things. At the same time, it's an important issue. It's an important issue. And there are people out there who are kids, whether they're LGBT kids or just kids who don't fit in the world that they're in at the moment. And I want them to know it's a safe space. So if you have a problem with it, I'm not going to talk political on this show, but I just want to let you know that's why I'm wearing it. I will be wearing it more because it means a lot to me and equality means a lot to me. And yes, Centro says I'm wearing it ironically. You go fuck yourself. I will burn you in your bed while you're sleeping tonight. Let us begin the show. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Oh, later in the show, I'm not going to do it now, but I do want to let you know, later in the show, we are going to talk about the Elitist podcast. We're going to give you a chance to win a $10 PlayStation gift card by answering a couple of questions, trivia style questions. And we're not doing it now. That'll be later, but get your thinking caps on because that's coming up. Okay. Here's some news for you. Now, listen, I'm going to be playing some Halo this weekend. Because they had an announcement today that Halo Infinite Forge, which is their let users build levels, has passed 1 million creations. January 2nd, more than 1 million creations have been created, they said. 8.5 million custom game matches played. They just put in a community collection playlist that actually now takes your stats into effect. And it says it's been the most popular Halo Infinite playlist since the game's launch. If you haven't played it, you should. It's pretty good. You have Absolution. These are community-made maps. Absolution, Perilous. I played either, I forget, Salvation or Starboard. I think it was Starboard. It was a great map to play on, and there's million aren't good, but there are a lot of fucking cool Forge maps, and I want to get back into Halo at least this weekend. There's a new season starting Monday. I loved it when I played it. I got bored of the maps. Now I'm like, okay, it's time to go back in. So if there's any Gavin and Game members tonight or tomorrow, I would love to play with you. Hit me up. We might even do a game night tomorrow with about 3 or 4 different games. I think we're going to look at doing Evil Dead Battle Royale, which is the new mode. We'll do some Halo. We'll do some Marvel Snap, and then we'll pick up one other thing. So keep that in mind. But don't forget, if you're into Halo, coming March 7th, which is, I don't know, Tuesday, they have Season 3 Echoes Within, which does include a couple of brand new maps made by the team, and then some other bullshit. Who cares? All I care about is the fucking the maps. Robert George, thank you, buddy. He says, wish I could stay and listen, but I have to be up for work in 6 hours. Have fun. Fuck you, bitch. Let me tell you something. If your work is more important than this show, then I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you. We're going to talk all about Hoag's Law. I'm so happy he's back and healthy from the stroke he had, and he's recording videos again. Lawyer talks about video games. He talked about the Activision deal today. I haven't seen it, Robert George. I was gonna turn to you for wisdom and for guidance and look like, you go to bed, you fucking old man. Fine, do what you got to do, Robert George. Good to see you, buddy. There you go. GMTA says, I quit my job to stay home and listen to Jeff. You goddamn right you did, man. Come on. Yeah, Gerard, I'm glad he's okay as well. Absolutely. I agree, Adam. Adam says, Jaffe, I think we're getting the Resident Evil 4 remake demo at the showcase next week. If you don't know what he's talking about, let's jump ahead a little bit. This was a story later in the show, but Adam cut me off at the pass. On Tuesday, is it Tuesday? March 9th. So I don't know what day that is. Who the fuck cares? Who knows? It's Tuesday. Fuck you. No, it's not. Hang on. Let's find out. The 9th of March is Thursday. This coming Thursday, Capcom has a Spotlight. We will be streaming it here. Pre-show starts at 2:10. The main show's at 2:30. It's a 30-minute cock-a-doodle show. Now, Capcom has come out and said, look, man, we're going to be doing RE4, Exoprimal, which I remain very curious about and very interested in. I don't know if I'll like it, but the more I watch footage and hear people describe the kind of way the multiplayer game shifts in goals and level objectives as new players come in, it feels very fluid and cool, and I'm looking forward to that one. I don't really give a fuck about Monster Hunter Rise or Mega Man Battle Network, although I know a lot of people are excited for Mega Man Battle Network. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective that we saw recently on some show, I forget what it was, looks pretty good. I agree with you, Adam. I think next week they are going to drop the demo. I don't fucking know. It comes out this month. It comes out March 24th. So, and we know a demo's coming. So you're probably right. I did see in this article, this is an article from Games Radar. Some people were speculating like, oh, maybe we'll see Dragon's Dogma 2. No, you won't. No, you won't. Obviously it's weird that Street Fighter 6 is not there because that launches this summer. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm very much looking forward to this. Capcom is probably my very favorite third-party publisher. AJH says, is Capcom making Pragmata? They are making that, and I saw somebody talking about it, but saying, is that going to be there? They haven't said it is, but I'm trying to remember, is that the game with the sexy lady Pragmata? Let me see what that is. There was a game where people were like, she's too sexy for video games today. And I'm kind of like, is that the game? I don't know. What is this? What is Pragmata about? Let me just look at some pictures while we're talking. Jaffe, I think they might be saving SV. Okay, they're saving, Ron Tanuki says Street Fighter for Evo. So when is that? When is Evo? It's a summer show? Because, I mean, the game comes out the 2nd of June or 6th of June. Okay, Pragmata is the one with the robot and the kid. Stellar Blade is what we're talking about, or what I was thinking about, which I think got a name change, right? Stellar Blade. That's the one with this real sexy lady who's my girlfriend. Back the fuck off, gentlemen and lesbian lady folk. Back the fuck off. She's going home with me. What about the one game with the dude in a spacesuit? That's it, CR3D. That's what Pragmata is. But again, I don't know if they're actually going to be showing that next week. They haven't announced it, but I hope there's some surprises and shit. Okay, let's move the fuck on. Let's move on down the road. Ease on down the road. Ease on down to, fuck you, Cyclone. I will fucking kill you. He says, I'm already taking her to prom. Just because you take her to prom doesn't mean you can seal the deal. She loves me, right? She might think you're fun for a little bit. Big fucking deal. No, it's not, Jorge. Jorge says, that's my waifu. Fuck you. Listen, let's move on. I want to tell you about Gears of War, according to a ad for hiring human beings over there at the, what do they call them now? The Coalition. Says, hey, this is reporting from PC Gamer, a new Gears of War game. And I love the Gears games. I even really enjoyed 5. So fuck you. I know a lot of people, I'm taking her to the sock hop, John. That's right. I know a lot of people kind of take a poop on 5, but I enjoyed it. There was a great sequence in 5 in a Broadway theater where it was almost like Hamilton with the spinning floor, and you were fighting this giant kind of sub boss, and the entire level, or at least parts of that main stage, were spinning. It was very fucking cool. It was very fucking cool. But anyway, Gears of War, development with the Coalition. There's been a bunch of new job listings, and it's not looking like it's a remake or a remaster. Here's what the job listing said. They're looking for, and hey, this may apply to you. They're looking for senior mission designers and multiplayer specialists, and job ads make it clear that they're looking for people to build new shit. They say, we're searching for candidates with experience in character, camera, and control. and artificial intelligence. Ooh, peach. You have experience owning large-scale features and guiding them from initial concept through polish and completion. Microsoft recently fired a bunch of people, we know that, including some of the people from the Coalition, and the Coalition did just shut down 2 projects. It seems to me that they're like, you know what, fellas, enough of this horse shit. We got to go to war. We need more great first-party bangers. The entire studio is focused on Gears of War 6 or whatever they end up calling it. I hope this is true. I'm looking forward to it. Listen to this now. Now, this is a little weird. I didn't like this part of the writing. This is PC Gamer, and it's coming from Rich Stanton. Come on. That was a Silver Spoon kid, if there ever was one. I don't know if that's true. Who's Hyper, man? Who is Hyper? Papa Jeffy is Hyper. Shh. Listen. I don't know if this makes any sense, but here's what they wrote. Longtime Gears veteran Joshua Ortega appears to have confirmed their own return to the series. Not true, as far as I can tell. He was the co-director and co-writer of Gears 2. And he tweets out this tweet that says, once again, it's on. And then he does a number of tweets explaining what he's been doing on Gears of War and since Gears of War. And somehow PC Gamer assumes that means he's coming back to work on the show. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe he is, but not by that tweet. The other thing, this was kind of a swipe at Cliffy B. I didn't like this. It says Clifford Blazinski, meanwhile, is spending his time griping on Twitter trying to land a consulting gig on the new title. Hey, we all got to eat. First of all, Cliff Blazinski owns a restaurant, bitch. The man's got no problem eating. He's good. But all he said, here's the tweet if you want to see it. All he said was, I'm not trying to nitpick, but this annoys me so much. He's looking at a screenshot. I think this is his wife, Lauren, streaming some Gears of War X. I don't know what number it was. He says, I trust the Coalition is working their butts off on Gears, but seriously, this camera placement drives me insane. Once again, I'm available for consulting, for fuck's sake. Okay, this is not him racing. This is not him griping on Twitter trying to land a consulting gig. It's a mean-spirited swipe at a very talented, nice, good dude in the business. So fuck you, PC Gamer. Other than that, I love PC Gamer, but fuck you. But, you know, who knows? I don't know who's coming back to work on it. I mean, we know Cliff is gone. We know that Rob Ferguson. Okay. Is that better? When did I cut out? When did the microphone cut out? God damn it. God damn it. Alexa, remind me at 9 p.m. to order a microphone cord. But yeah, so Cliff Blazinski tweets the other day about the Jazz Jackrabbit. Somebody was talking to him about games or something. He's like, bitch, I'm still making money off a game I made in 1994. So wait, it cut out when I were all up on Cliffy B, but you guys, wait a minute. So you guys heard me talk about Cliff Blazinski and Gears of War. Is that correct? Fuck you, Cyclone. Is that correct? Oh, you sons of bitches. I hate this microphone cord. Okay, so we'll move on. There's your Gears of War news. Stick it up your butthole. Yeah. Dead by Daylight. Somebody's making that into a fucking movie. Stupid. Now, I think it's kind of cool, though. Dead by Daylight, James Wan, who is a fucking crackerjack of a horror director. I love his movies, including Malignant. You can shit on Malignant all you want, but Malignant, when they have the reveal, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm fucking talking about. When they have that reveal towards the end, you're like, oh my God, this is batshit. And then they have that fucking scene in the police station. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Anyway, James Wan has a production company called Atomic Monster. He's teamed up with the great Blumhouse Productions of Jason Blum, who just the other day announced a guy I used to work with, the producer of Twisted Metal 2012, is heading up the interactive division. They're going to make $10 million games and under. over at Blumhouse Games. Well, they're teaming up, James Wan, Blumhouse, and they're going to work with Behavior Interactive on Dead by Daylight, the movie. Okay, I know it's a big hit. I know a lot of people love it. There's a lot of people in our very own server or Discord that play it all the time in the JoJo D room. I get it. But why are you going to make a movie about this? Is the Uncharted problem again, although Uncharted did well, so maybe it'll work. It's just a brand name at this point. Yes, they have their own enemies, their own bad guys. It's not just the ones they take from RE4, Freddy Krueger, whoever, Jason, whatever. But ultimately, this whole thing exists because it's trying to be a playable version of a 80s slasher movie. So it's like you're going to make a movie based on a game that's only concept is that it's a game based on a movie. Okay. But, you know, if it's good, it's good. I mean, again, it's Juan and Blumhouse, so I'm sure it's going to be good regardless. But I think it's a little weird, but fuck it. People are making a lot of money in game movies these days, so why not get in? I don't play a lot of Dead by Daylight. They're talking in the article, this is over on Kotaku, about the Wraith, the Trickster, the Hag, and more. Those could be the big bad guys of the film. So we'll see where it goes, but that's news for you to put in your pipe and smoke it. Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of a test. Hello, Prince Green. Hello, Riddy 5000. I have to center first. Who is hyper rolling into the Friday? Goodness gracious, fellas. Settle. Listen to me. We talked about this a couple of months ago. I'm going to get all serious now. We talked about this a couple of months ago. The U.S. Congress, this was a representative named Lori Trahan. She's very upset. She's very worried. She says, hey, I think a lot of these interactive video gamey thingies are sucking a lot of our children into white supremacy and extreme terrorist groups. And I want to ask Epic, Sony, Tencent, EA, Activision, Microsoft. She sent 14 companies a questionnaire. She's not happy because only 5 detailed what they're doing to assess and tackle extremism in their games. The most exceptional one that got back to him was Roblox, but that's probably because this is coming from Games Industry Biz. The company has been criticized in the past for enabling players to recreate real-world mass shootings in its game. So they probably already knew they were in the hot seat. But a lot of these other companies were just like, yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it. But listen to this. There were some fascinating stats. The government was able to figure out the titles most likely to expose you to white supremacist extremism. White supremacist extremism. Here we go. The 5th most likely game, if you're 13 to 17, is Dota 2. Be careful out there, kids playing the Dota. PUBG Mobile is number 4. Valorant, I don't fucking know. 34, I know what it is. I don't know how to say it. 34% of players are exposed to white supremacist rhetoric when they're online. Number 2 should be no surprise. Grand Theft Auto Online, 35% of players. But the big boy, which is pretty soon sounding like it's going to become Phil Spencer's problem, no, that's not true. Call of Duty. 44% of adults report incidences in the last year of white supremacist extremism that are coming to them when they're playing the video game on the internet. So, the ESA, the Entertainment Software Board, they're like, hey, this is not a big deal. You're making a tempest in a teacup. Suggestions that playing games expose players to extremist behavior cause a false alarm and make a false reality, they said. The reality is millions of Americans engage in fun, positive, valuable play on our platforms. It's because our members place a high priority on creating safe, inclusive environments. So who knows? But I'm not a fan of white supremacy. I'm not a fan of any extremism. So, you know, hopefully we'll see what happens. But you agree to responsibly disagree. What are you disagreeing about? It's just, I'm citing you some statistics. I'm not making this shit up. What's there to disagree about, man? Are they talking about language of the community? Well, I mean, it sounds vague in this article, but if you go back to the actual reporting that this was reporting on, they're talking about the being exposed to white supremacist comments while playing is what they're saying. So that's kind of what they're talking about. Y'all, I did see that. Somebody in the chat, Harry Balzac, says, "Oh, you son of a bitch, you got me to say it." He says, "Y'all see that teen knock out his teacher over a Nintendo Switch?" I have. It was chilling. If you haven't seen this, there's a woman in a school. It's from like a security cam, and she's walking away, and apparently she'd just taken away a kid's Switch, and she's walking away, and within 4 seconds, this big dude, he's certainly a teenager. I don't know how old he was. This dude just runs up, she turns around, and he rams into her like a she collapses like a fucking ragdoll in a video game, gets knocked back and flipped in the same motion. She's knocked out. Kid starts beating on her, wailing on her. My understanding is, yeah, he was a special needs kid, which doesn't excuse anything. It certainly makes you a little bit more sympathetic, maybe his inability to comprehend what was happening. But, you know, it was pretty scary. It's pretty scary to watch. And then at the end, I don't know if it was the same teacher, but as they're leading him out in handcuffs and the cops have him, he sees some lady teacher walking by and he starts yelling at her, you know, "I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you." So it was a pretty intense thing to watch. I got to say. Did they have the PSVR goggles on? Oh yeah, sure. They had Google Glass on, my friend. Listen to this. Bruce Straley, the co-director of Last of Us, co-director of Uncharted 4. He says, he tweets this out. I'm not sure what prompted the tweet. This is reporting from Games Radar. He says, linear games, in his tweet, linear games are just easier to make. There, I said it. It says, it hadn't been revealed what prompted the statement. We're going to guess it came from personal experience. It's interesting because it kind of kicked off a couple of follow-ups that I think are worth talking about briefly. The reporting says it seems that Straley isn't alone in his opinion. In response to his tweet, fellow game developer and my current nemesis, Alex Hutchinson, who doesn't seem to like to go a day without being a bitchy little complainer on the internet, basically, he also worked on Far Cry 4 and Assassin's Creed 3. He says facts, and also less interesting as games in general. It's like, can you just not be a dick, Alex? Is it possible for you to either say nothing or just say facts? Good point, Bruce, but you got to stick the knife in a little bit, you fucking moron. I don't know if I agree with him, though. I get his point, which is I think if you're going to really talk about a great game, then linear narrative cinematic experiences, yes, people love them. I love them when they're done well, but I do think it doesn't really speak to the true genius of the medium. It's more kind of like, well, we're kind of, you know, we're kind of like trying to be a movie, and so we have to kind of take a bunch of fucking back seats to better things movies do, but we'll try to ape them. So I agree in that sense, but I also think there's a lot of systems games that are really fucking stupid and boring. So fuck you, Alex. And I hope they never stop making. Bruce Straley just started a new company. He says, I'm going to keep making story-based games. I'm going to make them, you know, they're not going to be super duper expensive, but they're still going to be story-based. I think it's great. David Goldfarb, my friend David Goldfarb, he just put out Metal Hellsinger. He said, I agree. It's easier to make linear games, but it's a function of quality targets too. Well, that's what got me thinking. That's what got me thinking that, like, what would happen if Uncharted 4 came out, but it was AA, or The Last of Us came out, but it was AA, right? Do you think people would still adore it because the story was good to a lot of people, or it was fun, or like how much of the gasoline in the tank of the Naughty Dog engine is the production value? And if you strip away the production value and you're just standing there on the game itself, does it fall apart? Makes me wonder. I like this comparison. Serve in the chat says it's like a checkers or chess. I think that's true. I think checkers is more accessible. I think checkers is obviously easier to learn. Checkers is a lot of fun. But chess is obviously a better or a deeper game. Darth Nugget says, hey, yeah, man, if only the visuals and sound took a hit, then I think it would have still been a hit. Okay. Ravno says the first Uncharted felt AA. It just looked AAA. Oh, it did. Remember the boss fight at the end of Uncharted 1? It was like, what? That was the boss? Wasn't it just like some mutants on a boat? And you're like, oh, I guess that game is finished. I don't know. I hear you. But anyways, interesting. Okay. Listen to this. Hideo Kojima, in his very Willy Wonka-like fashion, opens his doors to a few people of a studio in Japan. But this week he opened them, and guess who got to walk in those doors? Yep, the Xbox team. Now, we already knew about this. Xbox and Kojima have been talking for a while, saying, hey, we're doing something together. Kojima has gone on to say, so this is the first time since COVID or since the deal that they got to visit with this guy, okay? He announced in June he had teamed up with Xbox to work on a cloud-based game. He says no one's ever seen this concept before. Aaron Greenberg, VP of Xbox Games Marketing, said this. He says, hey, it's our first visit to Kojima Productions with our Xbox game studio publishing teams, bringing engineering, cloud, marketing, and production teams together to kick off an exciting journey. So, it's going to be a Game Pass Kojima game. That's pretty cool. The real question is Kojima going to pull his fucking head out of his ass and at least get as commercial as he was with Metal Gear Solid? I hope to God he is. I hope to God that the goddamn and again, I like Death Stranding, but it's fucking esoteric and slow and arty-farty, and I'd love to see the man make another commercial hit. Listen to this. This is what I don't think is true, though. This is reporting from Video Games Chronicle. This is what they write. They say, at the time of collaboration, the announcement of the collaboration, Kojima described the project as a, quote, completely new game, one that no one has ever experienced or seen before. And in a more recent interview, he claimed one of his next titles is, quote, like a new medium. In December, Kojima told IGN that he pitched the, quote, unusual title to a large number of potential partners. Microsoft was the only one to really get the concept, while others thought he was, quote, mad. I think that's just such PR horseshit. I mean, it may be true that they were the only one to offer to fund it, but it's like, what a spin. Nobody wanted to fund it but Microsoft because they got your mad vision genius and no one else could. Really? I hate shit like that. But the point is, it's coming. The thing I don't agree with about some of this reporting is people are thinking it is aligned with the horror game that leaked a couple of months ago. If you remember, we showed it on the stream. It was Margaret Qualley, who was in Death Stranding. She was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's Andy McDowell's kid. Beautiful woman. She is using a flashlight to move through this dark space, and people are like, is this the never before seen fucking game that I think Kojima described as it's going to change the game industry and the movie industry? I don't think so. I mean, it could be. I don't know. Kojima's got like 50 fucking things in the fire right now. And again, the footage was leaked, so, it can be forgiven for not blowing your mind with how unique it was. It just kind of looked like another Silent Hill game. But I'm curious because at least some of the reporting that I was looking up regarding this story when Xbox went out, they're making the connection and going, oh, okay, so Xbox is publishing this leaked game that I guess people were calling Overdose. So we'll see. Kojima steals other people's ideas, says Raphael, and makes it into a video game. Really? Like what? What do you give me an example? What has he stolen? All I know is whatever Kojima makes, says Serve, Keeley will love it. He's a super fan. I think he's a super fan. Let me tell you something. I don't like the fact that people use it as a homophobic insult, because I see nothing in the world wrong with anybody loving anybody the way they want to, as long as it's consensual. But so I'm not saying this as a joke, like a lot of people use it, but when a lot of people kind of imply that Kojima and Keeley are lovers, I'm like, I can see it. If the video game TMZ, which we don't have, we should get, somebody should get on that right away. came out with saucy, salacious pictures of Keeley and Kojima hanging out the biblical way. Serve says, I agree. He's a super fan. I would say, yeah, okay, that tracks, which again, great. I'm glad although I think he's married, so that would be really bad for his marriage, but maybe love is love, and it's a totally different conversation. Let's move on, shall we? Hey, listen, oh my God, I got to tell you guys, speaking of Kojima, and you guys know I'm totally fucking into Atomic Hearts. I think it's great so far. I haven't gotten to the point where it's supposed to not be good. But I'm playing it the other night. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. A, because I don't want to spoil anything, and B, because it's long. But man, whoever the director, designer, writer, or plural, writers, directors, designers, there's a real talent behind this. Whether or not you love this game, which I think it's a great game, the imagination on display in this, it does feel very Kojima, and it does feel but more commercial than Kojima. D'Angelo says the ending's going to piss you off. That's all I'm going to say. Could be. I haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know how close I am. But I'll just show you a couple of beats from this cutscene, which felt very Kojima to me. There are these two like ballerina robots. Now watch this shit. I mean, it gets fucking it gets very into the world of Death Stranding a little bit. It doesn't go so far as making bullshit up like Lale Lole Lou and shit, but look at that. Now watch this. This is gross. So she kind of, if you're listening to the podcast, A, I appreciate it, and B, and by the way, I recommend you subscribe to the podcast, because sometimes I'll put shit up there that is only available to members over on YouTube, but you can hear it over on the podcast. But anyway, it's this robot, and she sticks this unicorn horn in the stomach of another robot and slices her up the middle. And now she's sticking her hand in the opening, the incision. And then she pulls out this fucking metal rod that becomes a key. I'll say blah, 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 blah. The key, ultimately, it's really gross and cool and blah, blah, blah. Then there's this dead human on the floor. And using those keys creates this ooze that comes out of this fucking bathtub. And it's a humanoid figure. And it's just floating around, very Death Stranding. And then it just starts to hover above the corpse. And it sucks. It does suck is the wrong verb. It just kind of ingests the corpse into its own body and walks. It basically becomes a version of that dead guy. It's very cool. There's a lot of Kojima in this game. There's a lot of control in this game. Yeah, Gerard says, whose only fan is this? That's right. Envelops. That's a good verb. Thank you, sir. I dig it. I dig it a lot. So I'm enjoying it. People are saying, Jaffe, those ballerinas aren't robots. Whatever. I haven't gotten that far. I've literally gotten as far as I just escaped from the woman and the man who caused all this shit, and she got pissed at her boyfriend because she realized he did it on purpose, and now he's chasing after the dude in the car. That's where I'm at right now. But I'm digging it a lot. It's good people. All right, anyway. Kojima, Atomic Heart. I didn't get into Control either, GMTA, but it's got that same kind of flavor. I might not get that far, Darth Nugget, but so far it's interesting me. It's keeping me engaged. Okay. I want to talk to you. Now, let's be clear. I get it. People are, I get it. Just please trust your Papa Jaffe for 3 minutes. 3 minutes on this, okay? Before you say, I don't want to hear about that. I'm bored. I'll move on. I get it, but I want you to listen. It's not Marvel Snap. Don't worry. I want to talk about VR and AR. I know. And I want to talk about MetaQuest. I know. Because what Zuckerberg is doing, and I'm not saying it's not a desperation play, right? But he's tripling down on this VR metaverse shit. Okay. And I agree. It doesn't work right now. It's not compelling. I've been into Horizon. I have a MetaQuest 2. It's not there. But when you hear about what they're hoping it to be, and I want to show you some of the stuff that leaked recently last week. The rumor is they leaked an internal meeting plan of their AR VR plans because Apple is very quick or soon to make an announcement about their much anticipated AR VR headsets. And they want to kind of get ahead of the story so people can go, oh, well, Meta's doing that too. Okay. So I just want to tell you some of the stuff they're planning on doing. And I want to tell you the stuff that really, really excites me. Silver Joystick says, I don't need metaverse. I get it. Just wait. Just hang in there for a brief moment. It's not about games at this point. I don't think VR games are anything worth writing home about. Even Alex, Half-Life Alex is like, whatever. So here's what they're going to do. The plan, according to the reporting from Apple Insider, is to swamp the market with just about everything Apple has been rumored to be doing. So there is an updated MetaQuest 3 coming in 2023. It will be twice as powerful as the predecessor. It will be 2 times thinner than the Quest, cost a little bit more, which is just dropped price this week, by the way. And it's already thin as fuck. I mean, not thin as fuck, but it's already thinner than anything out there. One of the VPs over there says, we have to get enthusiasts fired up about it. We have to prove to people all the power and features are worth it. He said, here's what he says. The main North Star of the team is for the moment you put on the headset, the mixed reality has to make it feel better, easier, more natural. You can walk effortlessly through your home, knowing you can see perfectly well. You can put anchors and things on your desktop. You can take your coffee. You can stay in there much longer. Okay. So what I will tell you is it is a nightmare right now if you want to work in VR. But if you get it set up and you jump through the hoops, it is so fucking cool to have monitors all around you and you can still see your real life desktop and keyboard and you're sharing the space, the virtual space, and getting the benefit of that and the real life space, right? These guys are going all in on this. I want to show you just a picture. Now, so like a lot of people in the chat right now, are basically saying, oh, nobody, you know, not just the chat, but responses to this. We don't really care about VR. Fuck it. Who gives a shit, right? I get it. But you're an idiot because you don't have any vision. This is the avatar that they plan on putting out in artificial or no, it's augmented reality in, they're saying 2025 or 6 or 7. Okay, this is an avatar.
Down, but also the
it's an avatar of Zuckerberg. It's 3D scanned. This is sort of what they're shooting to have, that if you want to do a meeting with people, you'll have full body and it'll look as good as this. Okay, now I want to show you more. This is AR and VR. Okay, now now look at this. This is amazing.
High quality avatars.
It's full body. So watch this. Now I want you to, this is what I'm saying. It's not about games. It's not about, I mean, it can be if you're into that, but it's about a different way to engage with the environment. And anybody who, again, I am not this guy who's out there VR. Yeah, I'm talking AR for the most part. Okay. But a lot of it is because all they do is make kind of boring VR games, right? But look at this. What do you mean, man? I haven't even gotten to the sex part, Wayne, you moron. Listen, it is impressive, you idiot. Listen. Look at this. This is a 3D avatar, and he can, in real time, change outfits. Now you're like, so what? So what? Can you imagine? Like, I don't like to shop at all. I hate trying on clothes. But if you could get an accurate avatar reflective of your body, and you could just go shopping for fucking clothes. Are you out of your fuck? No, you don't need to be in this room. That's not what it's showing. Somebody's watching the chat and saying, we converted our third kitchen into one of those rooms. This is just them scanning at Facebook, right? So I understand. Reality is not easier for that. It's a pain in the ass to go to the car, get to the mall, park, try shit on that's not comfortable. Then you're like, oh, God, they don't have what I want. No, it's not easier. Okay, but now look at this. People are saying, quality is great, but I'm never ever going to wear the goggles. And this guy, David Heaney, says, you will when they look like this. This is, I don't know what this is, but this is clearly where they're trying to go with VR, AR goggles, right? Okay, so, and then people are like, yeah, but it'll take forever to get you to scan yourself to create, or like Nugget was saying, you have to create a room in your home to scan yourself. Well, watch this shit. Look at this shit. This is the current state, which I think will be on MetaQuest 3. This is a woman at this is a woman on the screen at Meta, and she spends 30 seconds scanning her face, making a couple of crazy expressions to give it some boundaries. That's what, this is not the Zuckerberg one. That one's like 5 years in the future, 4 years in the future. This is what we can do now. Okay. So you can say, I see a lot of you guys in the chat going, oh, I can just FaceTime the person. Right. But let me tell you something. I'm fucking 51 years old. I remember when people were saying, oh, I mean, I got to tell you, when I moved from San Diego, but I was still creative director of Sony Santa Monica, I had my Apple iChat, whatever it was called back then, and I was FaceTiming everybody up and down the goddamn coast because I was like, this is how we do it. It's great. And it took a lot of people a lot of time to get comfortable being on video, right? So this, if this strikes you as like, oh, why would I do that? You would do that because imagine everything from porn, but more importantly, well, I don't know if it's more importantly, but imagine hanging out with your family who's all over the world for Thanksgiving, or imagine having an actual lunch with a friend who you haven't seen in 5 years, but you can see them this way. Or imagine one of your parents is sick, but you can at least see them, and you can't make it home, but you can see them and comfort them. Come on. To act like this is no big deal. I'm sorry. It's not just FaceTime. It's 3D engagement. And I'm sorry if you don't have the vision to see it, but it's cool. Oh, is it Ravnos? This is kind of boring. I don't care. I'm sorry if look, here's what I want to tell you. Here's something that won't be boring to you though. The response to this fascinates me. Right? AJ says, I can do that through Skype. Haha. Yeah, I know. But you can't do it to this same degree. Right? You can't have people who feel more like they're really there with you with FaceTime. You just can't. This brings us to the next level. Having to wear a device will kill a lot of people's interest. Well, it might, but if the device is literally some fucking glasses in 10 years that you put on and you're in AR, I don't know if I agree. So I'm with that too, though. Connect with dead relatives. Yeah, I'm with that. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm totally waiting for the Apple glasses. I can't wait. What if I lost an eye? Okay, well then sorry, Monley, if you lose an eye, but you can't do FaceTime either. All right, let's move on, because goodness gracious, I'm only showing you some of the coolest fucking shit coming down the line. Here's what I'm going to tell you this. Somebody used the term, and I've heard the term before. I didn't know you could apply it this way. Somebody used the term on the stream the other day, Luddite. And I said, why are people so fucking cynical and so fucking scared of technology, whether it's this or AI or whatever? And they said, oh, that's what a Luddite is. And I'm just kind of like going, I'm just kind of going, it's amazing to me that people who are into video games and into technology look at this, I'm never doing that. Really? Why? It's cool. I thought gamers liked the cool new tech. Anyway, we'll move on. Let's move on. I'm tired of defending Mark Zuckerberg's vision. Wayne B says no one is scared. That's not true. Just not interested in it. Yeah, but you have to have some vision. I know you're not interested in it now, but imagine what it could do. Just Incredible says, Jaffe, why did 3D TV fail? Because it was stupid. I said it from the beginning. That's why I think VR is pretty much useless on its own, right? He says, was it because people had to wear glasses? No. It's because the story, the experience after that kind of flashy tech wears off is not worth the cost or the trouble, which is why I think VR as a gaming device is never going to be that big of a deal. Reggie Fils-Aimé came out the other day and said it's never going to be anything other than a niche until it has some must-play apps. But the problem with that is must-play apps in VR, none of them have come close to being worth the headache after you get bored of the experience. They said that over 50% of MetaQuest 1 and 2 users after 6 months have a 60% fall off. They never touch it again. They never touch it again. Okay, so I'm telling you, it's not that you're not interested. Although I'm telling you this. You don't know this, folks. I have to tell you. It's not that you're not interested. You've been shown a bunch of shit that's like, that's not what I'm excited about. I definitely do not think that VR video games is the future at all. At all. Well, that's kind of true. Jason Pocketman says, Jaffe, you only like this because you don't want to take a plane trip to Alabama for Thanksgiving. That is true. All these things certainly help me stay in the house. Serv says, I think certain things just freak people out, like when your thoughts on AI recording and learning of a loved one's voice that can be used after they die. I think that's amazing. I love that. I love that. Okay. I don't agree with that, Rotten. Rotten says, Jaffe, to be fair, after 6 months, Sony didn't support VR. Oh, I don't agree. I think PSVR was probably the best supported peripheral, if not one of the best, but maybe very well the best supported that they've ever done, because they were putting out new games on PSVR up until like 6 months ago. I was very impressed that they just kept plugging away. Even to the point that that they made a fucking sequel to the console. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Made no sense to me. Still doesn't. Although I do hear GT is great in VR, PSVR 2. First party? No. I mean, first party, I would say maybe second party. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't that but you're absolutely right about first party. I think third party PSVR 1 publishing was on top of things, getting them exclusives and things like that. Jason says, Papa Jaffe, in all honesty, all this scares me for the future of humanity. It doesn't scare me at all. End of the day, man, we really are about to move on. I want to talk about some video game stuff. End of the day, ultimately, we are a species that is either capable of making good choices or we're not. Right. And so whether it's AI that gets us or AI VR or nukes or whatever, we're either smart enough as a species to navigate the dangers of technology or we're not. Like, I think social media has absolutely, I'm not wise in saying this. I think a lot of people agree with this. This is a very tropey thing to say, but I agree that social media has absolutely done permanent damage, just like the Great Depression did. Social media has done permanent damage to Generation Z. There's absolutely no doubt. There's absolutely no fucking doubt. Let me get some of these super chats and super messages. I really appreciate them, you guys. Thank you so much for that. I hope I missed a couple. I know I apologize if I missed yours. This thing is not taking me far back enough, and I apologize, because I know that there was a Vita phone one and there was someone else. If you can just kind of put some exclamation points in front of your thing, and I'll keep an eye out for it if you don't mind copying and pasting it. Vita phone, thank you for the super chat, though. He says, Jaffe, there was almost no first party support. They didn't even support the AIM. Sony supported the PSVR less than they did Vita. If you're talking about first party, I think that's relatively accurate. I mean, the AIM was supported by a second party title that Sony funded, which was that space shooter. There was rigs that came out of SCEE. There were certainly some, but you're right. But Tanuki didn't clarify that it was first party. But as a peripheral, third party made sure there was always stuff coming. Okay. Simple Clout says, Jaffe, did you watch the interview from Eric Williams on directing God of War? He said it took him 6 months to convince him. I have not. I haven't seen it. I don't really track a lot of God of War Ragnarok stuff these days. But I like Eric very much. Eric's a great guy. Oh, okay. Let me ask. Well, I'm going to do it. Let's get to video games first. I got a package. I want to show you my package. Konami set to bring new Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid 3 remake to E3. This is a rumor. Andy Robinson, this is reporting from GameSpot, but Andy Robinson over at VGC says, hey, Konami's going to have a pretty big E3. Thank God, because nobody else seems to be. Nintendo's out. Sony's out. Microsoft's doing something across the street, but they're out. Come on now. But he says Konami's, pulling up with a lot of big shit. New Castlevania, which is great. I wonder if it's going to be a 2.5D one or if it's going to be a 3D one. And then the Metal Gear remake. Also, what they don't mention here, which is confusing, is the Silent Hill 2 remake from Bloober Team. Because we know they're working on it. You'd think that would be at E3. Possibly along with some of the other Silent Hill games that were announced 4 or 5 months ago. Silent Hill Townfall, Silent Hill F. So hopefully we'll see those as well. But Kamikaze says, I miss when E3 used to be big. What the fuck is happening? Yeah, what the fuck is happening is that there's, it's not a secret. There's no financial incentive to make E3 work anymore. The only way E3 can work moving forward would be if it really does become a great fan show. And in being a great big fan show like Comic-Con, maybe you start to get the companies coming back beyond just being paid to be there as marketing because there's a lot of eyeballs on it. But companies don't do anything if it's not good for their bottom line, if they want to stay a company that's solvent. And so all these companies realized, obviously, that it's much easier to get the work that E3 did for them done at a much cheaper and more controlled way, which is like, State of Plays and Capcom Showcase coming up Thursday and things like that. Vitaphone, there it is, buddy. Thank you for that. He says, this is the missed message. Naughty Dog would be fine as an A or double A. Telltale proved that a good storytelling will give you a pass on jank. I would agree with that. And honestly, that's why I'm glad that Straley's new company, what's it called? Wildflower, right here, Interactive. He says, we're making smallish, creatively charged, uniquely styled games that explore the possibilities of our medium. And I assume because of what he tweeted that they're also going to be doing linear narrative-based games. So I don't have a problem with it, but I don't know if I agree with you that there aren't a great many people who, if all the production value went away, from these AAA games, they would say, oh God, no, I don't want that. That's why a lot of people play. And that's not good or bad. That's just, it's what they do. All right. Let's dive into the Microsoft deal. Because this is look, there's two reasons it's a good thing if it goes through. I've already talked about the streaming stuff. I'm not going to bore you with that again. You can find that anywhere. And there's no guarantee it's going to go through. It was they still have to get through the FTC, which is looking maybe a little brighter this week as we go into the weekend. And they still have to get through another regulatory body. But Reuters is reporting that a number of people, sources that they trust enough to use them to report, say that the exclusivity contracts that Xbox has been giving out for 10-year Call of Duty, they gave one to Nintendo. They offered one to Sony, who said no. They offered one to Valve, who said we don't really see the point. They offered one to, Enforce or whatever, the streaming PC thing. They said yes. Apparently that is enough for the European Union regulatory body to say the EU antitrust concerns will be cleared with those deals. So there's still another commission, the UK Competition and Markets Authority Commission. And they had suggested they break up Activision. So we don't know if they're going to get through them yet. But, you know, they knocked down one of the barriers, it looks like. And again, I think it's good, but let's keep going. The other good news for Microsoft this weekend is the judge who is overseeing the FTC lawsuit that Microsoft is defending itself against has agreed to give Microsoft the majority of the documents that have been subpoenaed from Sony. And some of them are bizarre that they asked for. Like they wanted to see Jim Ryan and top executives like employee evaluations, yearly evaluation. And the judge is like, no, you idiots. Why do you need that? You know? But the two that were granted were pretty big, right? And the biggest one, I think, is the one that says Microsoft was basically saying, by the way, they're saying that, you know, all of this data about PlayStation's business helps address concerns over the impact of Xbox owning Blizzard Activision. Okay, so the thing that they're getting Sony said, I want to block all this. And the judge said, you can block 2 of them. You can't block all 6 of them. But the one that I think was the most meaningful was the one that is going to give them access to licensing agreements going back to the start of 2019. And the reason is, if you actually just look on your screen, this is actually part of the document from the FTC, the ruling. And this was Microsoft saying, hey, we need the data of your exclusivity agreements. And they said it because we want to see exclusivity provisions that prevent the publishers from putting their games on Xbox's multi-game subscription services. So one of the pressure points they're going to lay on is, what the fuck is Sony talking about playing fair? Look at these 12 contracts they signed saying you can be with us, but you can never go to Game Pass, or you can't go to Game Pass for 20 months. No, they requested it from 2012. They got it from 2019. The request was 2012, and the judge said, no, that's too far back. So, you know, I think ultimately what a lot of people have been saying for a long time is that, you know, smart guys who are into this stuff, like Pachter, and probably Richard Hogue, and I haven't seen his video yet that he put out today, his stream, have been saying this is probably going to go through. Non-smart guys and total lay people like myself has been saying, as a layperson, I don't understand what Sony's complaining about. I know they don't like it, but I don't understand why they think they have a case here. So it's kind of sounding like maybe they don't. So we'll see. But I think this is fascinating. And I want to tell you why. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, me and Vitaphone earlier, about if Naughty Dog stopped with all the AAA and made their games AA, right? Because whether you want to agree or not, the essence of the video game medium is interactivity. It's not production value. It's not graphics, okay? And here's what's absolutely fascinating. And here's how you know it, by the way. If you look at other mediums, a great album by a total unknown recorded in their kitchen studio can go on to become a massive hit. I'm not saying games can't do that as well, but, you know, there's a reason why they put Vampire Survivors in a different... What? Hang on. Ace has a bath. My dog has a bath. Yeah. I don't need to take a bath. Never take a bath. Anyway, but there's a reason Vampire Survivors is usually given like the indie award and not the big award, the Game of the Year award or whatever, in most award ceremonies, right? Music doesn't have the problem. Look at something like Breaking Bad, Mr. Robot. These are lauded shows that don't cost anywhere near an episode of Last of Us or Game of Thrones, right? games seem to struggle with that at this level. So if Call of Duty is so important, right, that it ultimately proves that PlayStation's bread and butter, which is their loved games, the cinematic games, all that, but are niche sales-wise compared to things like Madden, Call of Duty, Fortnite, etc. I mean, isn't that kind of cleansing to kind of go, okay, I know it sucks if you really like the big production AAA cinematic games. It sucks. You have my sympathy. It sucks. But isn't it kind of correcting the ship that Sony has really built over the years and telling people that this is what games are, when the vast majority of what Sony has done is just totally shot production value and cost through the roof. And they've basically made mostly things that are just kind of movies. I think that's a good thing. It's like a correction, you know? That's what I think. And at that point, it either, you know, Sony is going to have to get great at these kind of games, these more mainstream games like Madden, Call of Duty, Fortnite. Maybe they buy Madden. Maybe they should go fucking buy EA. Maybe they have to go third party. Maybe they have to reduce the cost of their AAA games to make them AA games, but it still has the stuff Vitaphone and I were talking about. And in that, it's like, look, we're not going to be able to spend $280 million. We're going to spend $40 million. But it's still going to be well written. It's still going to be as fun as it ever was. You know, so I think this is going to actually have just a wonderful effect on the medium. I don't mean Microsoft is going to be a steward of the industry in a way that we're going to love. I don't trust them as any more than I trust any corporation. But the act of basically righting the ship and saying the reason Sony is so desperate to keep Call of Duty, they've literally said without Call of Duty, they can't afford to make the kinds of games as frequently and the kind of hardware as frequently as they do. They said this. The fact that it's not The Last of Us or a cinematic game that's creating that revenue, but it's a pure gamey game that's creating that revenue, I don't know. I think it's kind of a good thing. Okay. I'm reading the chat. Sorry. Vitaphone talking about Hogue. He's a lawyer who covers video games, said it still looks likely the deal will go through with concessions. However, he said it's guesswork on what the FTC is likely to do, and there doesn't seem to be any precedent for the holdup. Yeah, it'll be interesting then. Ron Tanuki says, Jaffe, did you talk about the Square Enix president getting fired? I didn't. I don't know much about it. I just know that after a very long 9-year run, the current president was removed. They are proposing a guy who I think ran like production management or something there, who's younger. He's 47. He comes from kind of a disruptive technology background. He's still high on NFTs and blockchain and all that bullshit. So who knows? Plus, frankly, all of the Square stuff I love was the American stuff, and that's been kind of sold out mostly to Embracer, or if rumors are true, when it comes to Tomb Raider, to Amazon. So at that point, you're really just kind of left with what? Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, of which I'm not a fan, but I kind of take those on a case-by-case basis. But it is good because clearly something has been rotten under the floorboards for a very long time when it comes to Square. That's for goddamn sure. It's for goddamn sure. I want to tell you something real quick. So, you know, everybody is kind of like, oh God, the fuck. Wait, did I miss a super chat? Let me go back and make sure I didn't. Yeah, here we go. Tempura, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. He says, I want the deal to go through with Microsoft. I love seeing fanboy tears all over Twitter. I mean, that's fun, but honestly, I just really think, to me, it's about more than that. But sure, I mean, some of these people are. I had one guy, I was talking about console wars and saying it's so obnoxious, and one guy tweeted me. He's like, Jaffe, I think you're wrong. I think most of those console warriors have to be under 18. I'm like, dude, trust me. I've been on the fucking podcast. These are grown fucking adult men. Either they're really good at acting or they're really upset about this shit. But I hear you, and I thank you for the super chat, buddy. What was the last album that did that? You're talking about the last cheap album that was recorded. What came to mind to me, because I'm old, was like Jamiroquai's album, but I'm sure you can look up here. Okay, here, let me just do it for you. I'll do the work for you, pal. Most profitable albums of 2022. All right. Trying to see. Oh wait, budget. Okay. This might take me a little time because I don't really know where to search for music stuff. I can find expensive albums. Here, cheap to make albums that were big hits, maybe. Okay, 6 incredibly successful albums. I don't know what years these are, but I'll give them to you. Nirvana had an album called Bleach. That was a huge hit. Cost them about $1,200 to make. Sublime had a hit. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I don't know what the fuck that is. Cowboy Junkies, Black Sabbath, Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska cost $0 to create. He just made it in his backyard or something. So there's a lot more examples though. I just got to look for them. Okay, let me roll through the chat real quick, and we will get to the next thing. I agree. Cyclown says none of this is going to teach Microsoft how to release a game. It's like getting liposuction. They'll have big earners, but they still won't have what Sony has. Well, if what you're talking about is cinematic games, you're 100% correct. But if what you're talking about is variety in different genres and a better understanding maybe of the mainstream, I don't know if Sony has a total lock on that. However, I will tell you, I heard the rumors that like the next Xbox first party games coming out were like after Starfall is the what's the sequel with the woman with the great graphics, from the Ninja team, that one, and like Fatal's Far Away and Avowed. It's all of these fucking things seem pretty fucking generic to me. Like Avowed and Fable just seem like generic fantasy open world RPGs. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, all right. What else do I got for you, knuckleheads? I got some things. Don't fucking come at me. What are you gonna? What are you? Oh, I know what I was gonna tell you. Okay, so all of these service-based games are getting shut down. But Sector says Avowed from Pillars of Eternity universe, one of the best RPG universes out there. I don't think it won't be good at all. I'm just saying that they seem very make your own character, make your own world. Not world, but story, which is great. It's just, it's not one of those things that feels like you can rally a big commercial campaign behind. There's no like main character or anything like this. I mean, I loved obviously it was in Exile, but I thought Wasteland 3 was fantastic. So yeah, they're going to be an amazing group for RPGs, but I'm just saying, I don't necessarily think that so far they've shown a tendency to create great IP in and of itself, but we'll see. But anyway, so Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. There's a great op-ed over on IGN from Ryan McCaffrey, and he's just talking about, most people are not interested in this game. Maybe it'll be great when you play it, but it just looks like another one of those fucking battle pass, co-op shooter bullshit. And I think he's absolutely right. And he's saying that if this crashes and doesn't do well, yeah, you got your Destinies. Yeah, you've got your, what's that game? The Divisions. But most of these things are tanking. Marvel's Avengers, Crackdown, the recent Saints Row reboot, Gotham Knights. And it didn't just get me thinking, because we've talked about this before, but I want to show you the future. And the fact that these companies are not doing this is moronic. Okay. There is a movie company called Full Moon Video. I think it's video at the end. Yeah, Suicide Squad, kill the purple balls. Exactly. There's a movie. They're called Full Moon. They put out like schlocky sea level shit. Okay, and they just put out, yeah, baby. Not tonight. They just put out their only game, Full Moon Features, with a developer, October Games, called Puppet Master the game. Okay, this was how the cell phone or the mobile phone company did it back in the day. They might still, but it was called minimal viable product. Okay, and all it was the theory was fail fast and release your shit. Hang on, let me turn on the volume. Release your shit as fast as possible, just to see, if it's got heat on it, if it's worth investing any more money. Well, Full Moon never spends money anyway. All their shit is low budget schlock to begin with. I mean, it's not fun. But this game is as bare bones as you can get. This game doesn't have a lot of features. Somebody, when I was playing it might have been Spazbo, was saying this is how Dead by Daylight launched. I don't remember, but apparently it didn't launch with a lot of content either. You put this out, I mean, we played it. It's fine. I have no desire to go back to it and play it. And if it turns out that there is a huge group of people who play it and never come back to it, that's the way to do it. Because look how much money was spent on this. Certainly 600,000 maybe. I mean, probably less than that if they made it. I don't know where October Games is located. I don't, are they a Eastern European company or are they local, meaning in America? But ultimately the essence of what this game is already there. It's all there. And if it becomes the next big thing, then you start throwing money at it. But when you look at something like Justice League kills the Suicide Squad, or Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, all of the production, the voice acting, the music, the mocap, I mean, the effect, it's if that fails, that's a massive fucking loss for these guys. Cyclone says devs for mobile games do this all the time, and I'm thinking this had potential, but you've already made people think you don't give a crap. It doesn't. You're in the minority. The fact of the matter is that what they're trying to find out is it sticky? Is it compelling enough? Now, will they turn off some people, like from this game? People saying, "Oh, it looks like trash." Yeah, this isn't for you right now, right? This is for. I mean, I don't know what their theory was, but the gameplay we saw in Justice League Suicide Squad, I'm not saying you could do it in a month, but you could do, you could get the essence of that and you could put that out and go to some degree. I don't mean you put it out like a focus test, but you put it out for people to play in an early alpha, early access. It's ridiculous when you see this. Like, I knew within 10 minutes of playing this, I'll probably never play it again. Loved the idea, loved the license, but what this game is, it just didn't really click for me, right? It just didn't click for me. I think because it was just the balancing was off between the human character and the puppet characters. And so I was just like, fuck this. But anyway, I just think this is a really cool thing to keep an eye on, take a look at, see how it does. It's free. Give it a play. It won't cost anything as long as you have a PC. And let me know what you think. But yeah, I love this idea. And I think more companies should be doing it. Baz Digi's a big fan of Rocksteady. He says they're not going to fail. Well, they may not. I don't want them to. Look, here's what I'll tell you about Suicide Squad. The trailer they put out was a load of uninspired corporate speak, gaming by designed by committee horse shit. But it did look like it could be a lot of fun, right? So it doesn't need to be original or innovative to be fun or to be worth my money or my time. But I think what has a lot of people going, I mean, is not only did the founders of the company leave well before the game came out, which doesn't really speak volumes regarding their faith and what this thing was becoming, but it was less about, is it going to be fun, and more about, Jesus, this just seems so uninspired and soulless. And I think when you're used to a company like Rocksteady putting out, genre defining, or at least subgenre defining games like the superhero genre, subgenre, it's a weird look. It's a weird look is all I will say. Jake Z, thank you, buddy. You've been a member for 13 goddamn Cock-a-Doodle months. I appreciate it. Says, Jeffy, check out the Humanity demo. It's only available to the end of this weekend. It's cool. It can be played flat or in VR. All right, let me put it up right here. I'll get it later. Humanity. Where is it at? On Steam or Humanity demo? It's probably a Steam game. Let's see. There it is. What the fuck is this thing? Let's look at it together. Let's discover together. Oh yeah, this is the thing from the Rez guys. Right. And it was on Sony's State of Play the other day. Okay. Yeah. Is it good? Okay, I'll give it a play. That like you play a dog, right? It's like lemmings and some such shit. Okay. When am I playing Wulong? Hello, Alex S. I don't know, not right now. I played the demo and I loved the demo, but I really am making a concerted effort to get to to finish Atomic Heart and Elden Ring, and I really don't want to take on a new narrative-based game until I am able to wrap up those games. So, but we'll see if I can stick with it. Okay. I'm gonna save that because that's a cool story. It's getting late in the day. There's a lot of cool stuff. I had a chunky show today, full of good content. However, I'm gonna save a lot of it. What I'm gonna do right now is give you a chance to spin the wheel and win a PlayStation Network gift card. It doesn't have to be PlayStation. If you like Xbox or Valve, it's a $10 gift card. I'll send you a code tonight, probably tonight or tomorrow. But you got to get on the wheel. And here's how you get on the wheel. One of our great sponsors, they have a great show called The Elitist Podcast. You're looking at it right now. I highly recommend it. Go on over there and give them a listen. They basically are a podcast that does video game trivia as a game. So it's like a game show, but it's all about video games. And it's fun to drive, and it's fun to listen to while you're driving and see if you can sort of beat the host and whatnot. Okay, so they have a new game over there. I don't remember what they call it. I think it's called Smash Up, okay? And what they do is they take a game and a movie, and they're going to play a sound clip, and I'm going to play that for you. And you got to give me the name of the smash up, right? So I'll give you an example. The other day we played one that was audio from Arkham Asylum or Arkham and Raiders Lost Ark. And people were like, it's from Raiders, it's from Batman. It's like, no, the people who get on the wheel are the ones who typed in Raiders of the Lost Arkham, right? You see how it's doing that, right? Another one's like Wolf of Wall Street Fighter 2, okay? So I'm going to get 3 more people or 2 more people on the wheel. And then we're going to spin the wheel today and you'll know if you won. Here we go. The first person to type the answer of the smash up is going to get it. Here we go.
You use this to spot, you guessed it, 5.
C4.
What the fuck?
What is it?
Nothing. You use this to...
Highly explosive.
Oh, fuck me!
Good God, language, lady.
Out your west-facing window. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
You put them all together, you got a bomb.
Fireworks?
I got all the time in the world. You don't, but I do.
You use this to spot...
I'll play it one more
guessed
time.
It, 5.
C4.
What the fuck?
What is it?
Nothing. You use this to...
Highly explosive.
Oh, fuck me!
Good God, language, lady.
Out your west-facing window. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
You put them all together, you got a bomb.
Fireworks?
I got all the time in the world. You don't, but I do.
Anybody know it? I'll give you 10 seconds and we'll move on. But if you don't get it, if no one gets it, the goblin goes on the wheel. And if the goblin wins, you don't get shit. Come on now. Again, WitchX, hello. You guys are doing exactly what I said not to do. You can't just say Man on Fire. What is that? You've got to put it together with the game and figure out what the name is. I think Darth Nugget may have gotten it. Man on Fire Watch. There you go. Darth Nugget was the first to do it. All right, good job. So that's Darth Nuggets on the wheel. All right, I'll do 2 more. Darth Bucket. Darth Nugget. Okay, here's 2 more in the Elitist Podcast game Smash Up. This is probably one of my favorite title smash ups. Here we go.
That's amazing.
What the hell are you talking about?
Who are you talking to? You're part of this, aren't you?
One more time.
That's amazing.
What the hell are you talking about?
Who are you talking to? You're part of this, aren't you?
Anybody? I'll give you 10 seconds and the goblin gets it, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now you get the delay, 7-second delay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No one? No one? Somebody got close. Somebody got kind of close. You guys want a hint? I'll give you a hint. People are kind of hanging in the zone. People are hanging in the zone. There are people getting it kind of correct, but they're not either getting both things correct and or putting them together. People are really close now, but you got to put them together. People are just typing the name of each thing. No, 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No one gets it. No one gets it. It was a great one. It is Truman Shoverwatch. Oh, Mark Arnold gets it right at the buzzer. All right, Mark Arnold gets that one. All right. Truman Shoverwatch. I love that one. We're going to do one more. No, why am I talking Truman Shoverwatch? Mark, what do you mean, oh, come on? What do you mean? I didn't make it up. I think it's good. Okay, last one. I'll do an easy one. I'll give you guys an easy one to get on the wheel. Okay, this one, you got to get this one. Come on now. Here we go. Last one.
Ancestors protect me. May they protect you. Gods of war, may your hammer be mighty.
One more time.
Ancestors protect me. May they protect you. Gods of war, may your hammer be mighty.
Anybody get it? Some people are kind of close. Some people are... Number of people... hang on. Yes, somebody got it. It was GB Alex, Super Hot Rod. Mixing the movie Hot Rod with Super Hot. Okay, so that goes out to Alex. Was it Alex? GB Alex. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to spin the wheel, and the winner is going to hit me up on Twitter or ideally on Discord. And tonight or tomorrow, I will get you your code. Not you, Alex. It was GB Alex, unless that's you. It is hard. I didn't make these. These are from the Leadus, but it's fun. And when you get it, you're like, oh my God. I dig it. It's a good show. Highly recommended. It's in the link tree below. Check them out. Check out Rotten Tanuki's great stuff down there. Check out our very own Alex Plox, who opened some of the show with his music. It's good people, and they help make the show zing. Here we go. We're going to spin the wheel. So you gets it. Hey, spin, fucker. Okay. Now, you have to be here to win. And I think I specifically told this guy because I hadn't seen him around much. Joshua Jaya Sinj. If you are here, I'll give you 20 seconds. We'll talk about something else while we're waiting. If not, I'll knock you off the wheel. We're going to spin it again. Lutron, some Modern Warfare. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm gonna be playing Halo tonight or tomorrow. Because I want to get into those new maps. But do you play Halo, Lutron? I'll spin again, but I did add Darth Nugget. What are you talking about? Hang on. What do you mean I didn't add Darth Nugget? Done. Oh shit, we do have to spin it again. I guess it doesn't count. Okay, hang on, Darth Nugget. My bad. Sorry about that. I spelled it wrong, but you know who it is. All right, this is the one that counts. Here we go. That was my bad. Things are meant to be. Where is this guy? I'm going to give him 10 seconds to show up and then a 7-second delay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, you are not that guy. Fuck you. 5, 6, 7. It was meant to be, but now he's off the wheel. We are now going to spin again with Mario M, Mark Arnold, GB Alex, Darth Nugget, Brett Moore, I Am Ravenos. Here we go. Oh, boom. Boom. Darth Nugget wins. What do you want, Darth Nugget? What kind of card you want? From what fine establishment? We'll get it to you tonight or tomorrow. Hit me up over on the Twitter. Why don't you? That would be great. Yeah, it's good I added him. No kidding. Jesus Christ, man. All right. So look, man, happy Friday. Hope you've been well. I'll be back later in the week doing lots of streams and videos and things like that. PSN. Okay. Hit me up over there. I'm out though. It's been Gabbin Games for the, what is it? The 2nd, the 3rd of March, 3rd of March. Come on now. Have a great, safe weekend. Be well, and thank you for hanging out. Thank you, members. Thank you, super chatters. Thank you, people who are showing up for the first time and curious about this crazy show. I appreciate it. Be well, be safe. See you soon. Bye. I agree on Crapshoot. One's coming soon. I will stream this weekend. Yes, Prince. I forgot. I got to open my package. Hang on. Then I'll let you go. But I got to open the fucking package, man. Into the Weird is what I meant, Alex. There's an Into the Weird coming up. Maybe Sunday, but if not Sunday this week. I got it all planned. I just been busy. I know what this is. I think I may have found, and people are going to, they're books. I'm going to give you a warning now, okay? They're books. I like to read. Sorry. But I think I may have found a fun new author. I think these may very well be self-published. But when I saw the titles and I saw the covers, I couldn't resist. It's from a guy named Brian G. Barry. The first one that I got is called, I don't even see that. Shit, that's dark. Why not get an iPad? I like physical books. Here, I'll show you. Let me bring my flashlight up. It's a dark cover, man. Makes it spookier though. Look at that. It is called Jungle Rot. Look at that, by Brian K. Barry. It was just another routine combat mission to take a hill from the embedded force of NVA regulars. But ultimately, we got aliens and we get zombies in Vietnam. Come on now. Look at that fucking beauty of a cover. And then I got another one by the same author. Look at this one. It's called Hooker Massacre in Trash City. Come on, man. And this is not even, it's not really 99 cents. It's part of the book. It's like an old pulpy thing. Will I read you the book? I'd love to, but that's not copywritten stuff. Here's what I will read you real quick. I'll let you go. I know you guys are busy. I'm busy too, but I had one thing prepared. I'll talk about it in more detail later, but let me send you off respectfully. Okay? Oh shit, that got dark real fast. Let me send you off respectfully. I went to a website today called bedtimestory.ai. And what it is it is a fuck you, Lutron. He said, did I get those gun games off Game Pass? It is a AI that writes bedtime stories for kids. And I figured I would read you guys a bedtime story that I prompted the AI to write. And I'll tell you the prompt afterwards. But I want to read you the story and I want to send you off into your weekend nice and cozy and all that good stuff. I'm a dad. My kids don't let me read them stories anymore. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with you. Okay. Get rid of that. I don't want this. I don't want this message. Move. Get the fuck off my screen, you fuck. Hang on. Yeah, great. Thank you. No, I don't want to send you. No, I don't want to send you a message. Fucking chatbot piece of shit. Hang on. Go away. Go the fuck away. Leave me the fuck alone. Okay, I guess it's not letting me do it. Fine, I'll put it here. Okay. Lutron, I'll be streaming this weekend, but the next proper Gabbin' and Games will probably be Monday or Tuesday. Okay. Gotta have some music. Come on now. All right. This is a story that I wrote. And I wrote it for you with all the love in my heart. Hey, how's the audio mix? Is it working? Can you hear the story? Can you hear me? Ready? All right. Can you hear me? And the audio? Are we ready to go or is it too loud? I'll wait. The second coming of the child Jesus. Do you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't want to read it. I don't want to give you my brilliant work without you hearing it. Is the mix good? Somebody tell me if it's good or bad. Jesus Christ. Somebody say, yeah. Oh, God. I have to wait. It's good. Here we go. Fuck you, Bukaki. Okay. I'll tuck you in, Dano. Yes. The second coming of the child Jesus. Jimmy was playing with his friends at school when he suddenly tripped over a large rock and fell to the ground. He felt a sharp pain in his head as he hit the ground, and then everything went black. And there's a picture right there that the AI created. I don't quite know what this is, but that's Jimmy and that's the rock. When Jimmy woke up, he was surrounded by his friends and their teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, and everyone was looking at him with worried expressions. Mrs. Jenkins asked him if he remembered what had happened, and Jimmy shook his head. No. Well, he tried to get up, but he found he couldn't move very well, and Mrs. Jenkins told him that he had been knocked out cold for over an hour. Jimmy felt confused. Yeah, Jim Ryan. Jimmy felt confused, but also strangely calm. Like everything was going to be okay, like now he was awake again. Well, as he lay there trying to process what happened to him, something strange began to happen inside of Jimmy. It was like a voice that seemed to be coming from outside of himself, telling him something very important. "You are Jesus Christ," the voice said, "returned finally to earth to save the believers." Wait, come back, music. Hey, no. Come back. I need my music. Oh, come on. That's part of the charm. Loop that shit, bitch. Okay. As Jimmy lay there trying to process what happened, something strange began. He heard the voice. "You are Jesus Christ, returned finally to earth to save the believers." What? Jimmy whispered in disbelief, but the voice only repeated itself more loudly now. "You are Jesus Christ." Mrs. Jenkins looked at him worriedly, asked if something was wrong, but Jimmy could not find the words to explain what he was feeling. So instead, he just nodded his head yes and closed his eyes tightly as if trying to block out the voice inside of him that kept repeating, "You are Jesus Christ." Well, Miss Jenkins tried her best to help Jimmy understand what was happening. But it seemed like no matter how much she talked or how many questions she asked, nothing could make sense of this strange experience for either of them anymore. It felt like something bigger than either that they were ever involved in before. Listen, said Miss Jenkins, finally in a quiet voice, as she placed her hand on Jimmy's forehead gently. I don't know what's happening to you here, but I believe you can handle it. And with that, she gave him a reassuring smile before getting up from her chair and leaving the room quietly. Sucks to be you, Jimmy. I added that part. Alone now, with only the voice to keep him company, Jimmy lay very still, trying desperately not to think about anything, until eventually even the voice inside faded away into nothingness, leaving a strange kind of peace in its place. Jimmy opened his eyes again and slowly realized that somehow everything had changed. Now today, instead of feeling scared or confused about what had happened, all he felt now was a deep sense of understanding about who he really was. Jesus Christ returned finally to Earth once more, ready this time around to save all those who were willing to believe. And it wrote me that story. I love it. I told it, I said, write me a story about a kid who gets knocked out, wakes up, and thinks he's Jesus. And now I'm reading it and I'm like, that's like a comic book villain origin story, right? Is that he's simply crazy, but he wakes up and he thinks he's Jesus, and he's just going around trying to save everybody, but he's really killing everybody because he doesn't. I don't fucking know. I'm tired. Be well has been Gabbing and Games. Get your sleep, motherfuckers.